They can't hear you right now, though, as always. Okay. So stream's going. How? Ooh, Welcome to Week 8 of ECAC, Post-University Halo Infinite versus Ohio Northern Polar Bears. I'm Frisco, and Magick. Hello again. How you been doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back. I feel like every week, just like the intensity of this season is building, especially since like Post has been one win away from that playoff qualification for the last, now this makes 3 weeks in a row. So we're just really like whatever positive energy we can rally together for them to get this, Week 8 victory would be huge. But no, I'm really glad to be back and looking forward to these matches.
Yeah, it's down to the wire. This is our, Post's last chance to kind of sneak this in. Really got to, focus down. Starting on Livewire again, just like the past several weeks. So, really excited to see them, really try and get this clinch out.
Yeah, we've seen Livewire very familiar for game number 1 with the Slayer and some good variety. I think last week, Post University Eagles were up against Canton Spartans, SUNY Canton Spartans, and they did have a little bit of a difficulty with the game number 1 when they had some staggered spawns and they weren't able to really group up together and play as a full team of 4. So I'm hoping that in the last week, maybe they've got a little bit of practice in, maybe they've reviewed a little bit of tape. But if they can come out with that team fire at the ready, I am fully confident they can take game number 1.
I know. I agree that they've really got to keep it all together. Stay as a group, try to maintain at least those 2-on-2 interactions as much as they can instead of, getting caught alone. Really try to play their corners on live fire. Try not to be too out in the open when trying to go for, overshield and whatnot. Got to make sure you play those kind of areas, decently and partner up a bit more.
I'm hoping that happens. We do oftentimes see, Permish rotating solo and kind of playing the lone wolf, which can result in some really strategic map control with like that pinch or that trap flank play. But I'd say that 9 times out of 10, you want to be shooting with an ally. So really keeping an eye on those other 3 players, see if their team fire can be strong enough that allows Permish to be able to make those flank plays.
And right now, we're starting off right from the end of tower on Mydudesa. Everybody pushing down hallway, grouping up decently right now, but it does look like that Ohio is going to flank right, going down into yard, kind of hugging a bit. Gonna deny overshield for a little bit, at least kind of cover there. But Anonimal is going to be pushing up on that and is going to properly defend it.
Yeah, really smart to take some early control of this half of the map and try to lock down that power up. There's kills trading back and forth. You see Permish with the sniper at the top of the tower, gets 1 pick, but right now Ryzen from fire has the overshield in hand, but Mydudesa on the flank play. So a little change of roles and it worked for them. Permish locked down the tower's sniper, Mydudesa flank through key door and gets that double kill.
Yeah, and with overshield right now, Mydudesa is going to push up into garage. Little weak on Apollo. Going to pursue him right into garage and is going to really clinch that out. No one else to kind of get a follow-up on, though. Interacting with baseball. Got it down in green. Apollo down there. And going to go across field on Apollo and going to sneak that in.
Oh, he got the kill on Apollo there on Windows side of A, and then off the respawn kills him again, adding insult to injury, and then the back smack there leaves the heat wave on the ground. I'd imagine Wirta scoops up that heat wave, but what a great play off of that overshield, and with it, a 10-point lead here for Post.
Permish is going to push up on green, and kind of a little bit of a lack of awareness coming from Ohio right there. Not able to really kind of feel that Permish was going to push up right there. Going to keep on flanking right into garage and kind of be a little bit of annoyance on them. Not really sure where to kind of go with their positioning.
You know what, when you're looking here at Ohio Northern University, the polar bears, maybe they came out with a little bit of cold feet, right? They are polar bears after all, but in the end, will they be able to ice up? See what I did there? It's like a polar bear analogy. But 14 points down is going to be a tall task for these polar bears.
I will say they are starting to group up right on tower. Hopefully they can kind of maintain this. Actually, no, I'll play the opposite of my bias right now.
Sure.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't, hopefully they kind of lose it a little bit. And it looks like Post did break it up a little bit. Gonna have some interactions in garage. But the Stevie, oh no, baseball's gonna take it right on Permish.
Wow. Wow, the grenades and the team fire, all of Post just rotating as a full team or flock of eagles as they swarm for these kills. I believe they won a second overshield as well. I thought I saw a glimpse of it there, maybe even on Permish. So definitely holding down those power-ups and focusing the team fire. But Permish finds himself a little bit of trouble, trying to stay alive, but Ryzen jumps down and doesn't know that Permish is hiding that corner. So ends up getting squashed in the middle of that sandwich.
Permish is doing such a good job at keeping these kind of angles, and Post is doing just really good at just kind of grouping up. The Mydudesa is going to get called out right in tunnel over there. Permish now a sniper and is going to get a good shot in the yard. Not able to get the lineup onto Stewie. Really trying though. Stewie is, you know, a little bit more cognizant of it though.
Yeah, Permish is sitting at 7-2 with 4 assists, and a lot of that is due to that early pickup with the sniper as well, as he was kind of covering over overshield side. But you got to shout out other players here. Anonimal 10-2, and that team fire again from the Eagles is going to prove to be enough. Wirta making a great escape here. Wirta doesn't have the most for kills, but look at that assist count already sitting at 7. And on the side of Polar Bears, only 1 total assist on the team.
I know, as long as you're doing a little bit of damage to everybody, it doesn't necessarily matter if you snag the kill. As long as you're playing that support role for your team, that's all that really matters in the end. And we got Permish trying to keep an eye on Overshield, making sure that nobody's going to be running out for it right off that counter. Overshield is up, and Stewie is coming up, and he's going to snag it. But can Stewie live long enough to be able to use it? And he just pops it right away.
Yeah, it was a good body shot there from Permish, but Stewie somehow stays alive, grabs that overshield, and is going to put a little bit of work with it. Now pushing into the next fight. There's a little bit of team fire. Finally, we're seeing it from the Eagles. Like, seconds ago, I said they had 1 assist to their name. Now they're already at 4. So a good little turn of events there for the Polar Bears, rather.
Yeah, now we're just kind of shooting down hallway, putting a little bit of pressure on Baseball, but Baseball is going to get right out of there. Doesn't want to deal with Wirta whatsoever.
I don't think I'd want to deal with Wirta either. He's probably going to weaken you up, and then a teammate's going to clean you up. Has been the story of the game here.
Yeah, pretty
much. Got a Mangler here in play, so whatever the decision was to not GA it, things are kind of in flux right now when it comes to what weapons are out. But Wirta going fisticuffs there, gets the double melee kill, and Permish says, okay, my work's done here. Let me rotate around. But as he flanks here, he's going to have 3 players from the Polar Bears in front. Cleans up 1, tosses a grenade, cleans up the second, going after that triple kill. Here comes the pinch. Wirta on one side, Permish on the other. Permish gets the assist and then turns right around. Great awareness, but not enough ammo.
That commando just melts through people so crazily right now. It's so insane. So much assist material on it as well. It's like, sure, the bloom is kind of been relegated a little bit farther down. It just does so much damage, and it's just so strong. Such a strong tool in this game right now.
Yeah, the changes to commando have definitely made an impact. As you see, Wirta gets the trade there. Some great shots coming out early on, but we're just steps away from game 1 being a GG. 44-25. That's just a kill wipe and a half, but Stewie's gonna make a stop to it. Unfortunately, though, as he's trying to loot those dead bodies, Anonimal coming around from behind, and even trades are gonna be in the favor of Eagles because they're just kills away from taking this win.
Yeah, 4 left. And all the while, Ohio has to go through another, like, entire half of their kind of kill count. It's not looking too great for them right now.
I mean, the good news is it looks like they are going to avoid that Steaktacular, so not a complete blowout in game number 1. They've kind of crept up on it. Stewie there, a nice little double kill, and oh no, 1 player is out. An unfortunate crash here. On the side of Wirta. Yep, Wirta says sayonara. I don't know if they're going to play this out or they're going to restart it, but we'll stick with it as long as the players are.
Yeah, super unfortunate. But only two kills away. You know, just looks like we're about to clinch it right here. Yep, and victory for that goes to Post. Though I guess we'll see what everybody says about that. Though it's hard to say if, you know, it's going to switch, if they're going to, like, contest that in any way at all. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think that it's safe to say that the game was pretty much decided, but I guess, I don't, depending on what the actual rule set is, it looked like they were all playing it out, but they might decide to come back and give it another shot. We'll see what happens. I'm kind of leaning towards the idea that they'll let it ride, but I could be surprised, and like that's, you know, within the right of the Polar Bears if they want to contest and go back in. I think it was of like 47-31 approximately at the disconnect, but we'll wait and see what happens. As Wirta does connect, though, I was looking back at last week's matches, and the one that stood out to me, Frisco, has to be the game that the Eagles did win. And I remember it distinctly because it was that oddball recharge map where they got the fumble when the opposing team, the Spartans, had 99 seconds on the oddball, and then they had to have a nearly perfect hold of 40 plus seconds with oddball time. I'm very interested to see if oddball makes it into the mode rotation again tonight.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. It does seem like they have a really strong hold on, not no pun intended, but they really do have like a good grasp on, oddball, and like having that like moving objective, constantly keeping, positioning with it. They just seem to be really effective at it and kind of playing around those corners, kind of covering each other's backs. Especially if they seem to generally do a bit better on recharge as well. It does seem like to be a stronger map for them. I'm actually excited though that they finally got the win on live fire that it seems like they've kind of been pushing for.
Yeah, hopefully, as long as, we assume that this win stands. If you wouldn't mind scrolling through the stats here, I'm interested to see what those overall look like. Now, Wirta, even with that disconnect, comes out at the exact even. But that's unfortunate, in my opinion, that assists only count as a third of a kill. I really wish they counted as half, as other games have shown. But in the end, Wirta still being a solid team player. But Anonimal and Permish being really the pop-off players here. Both of them with a 10.0 or plus in game number 1. But I tell you what, that assist column is still glaringly obvious that that's where the win happened.
Yeah, but it's like even looking at the assists for Ohio, it's kind of like lacking. Like there's not enough like damage coverage. It seems to be coming out of Ohio in comparison to Post in general. Post 6, 9, 3, and 7. Just really, for considering the match, really decent numbers coming out of Post. Just constantly covering each other whenever they can.
Well, it does look like they're loading into game number 2, and it's going to be Strongholds on Recharge. And you mentioned Recharge being a great map, but instead of Oddball, it is going to be the Strongholds. Do you think that this is better, or would Oddball have been better in this scenario? What's your thoughts on this for game number 2?
I mean, considering the past 3 weeks when it comes to Post, I haven't really seen them take any matches when it comes to Strongholds. I mean, it was such a strong showing from them in that last match just now. Looks like
they're gonna reset real quick, I think.
Yeah. So maybe we're not going here, but if it is Strongholds Recharge, I would, I'm totally open to them kind of pushing this, as long as they kind of maintain those high assists counts. You cover each other whenever possible. It's like, always have somebody watching the different stronghold that you need to kind of grasp, and maintaining that area of influence.
I'll tell you what, Frisco, Recharge is my strugglingest, that's not a word, my weakest map in the rotation for me personally. And it's not that I dislike the map. I mean, I dislike it because I struggle on it, but in general, it's just a difficult map for me. And usually it comes down to, at least in my games, the control of that attic or top glass side, that little ledge that kind of connects the B side batteries and long haul. If you have that high ground position, you can just be a menace with great crossfire, a couple of good rotation opportunities. But that has been the key for me, at least the key for when I lose in this game. So maybe that's something that the Eagles can take advantage of. They are the Eagles. They want to have that sky-high vantage point. So some high ground position with good crossfire could be the key to their success. They can learn from my failures. Yeah. That's basically what I'm saying.
I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe they've been watching your matches. Maybe they have like some recordings of you up, and they've been kind of reviewing.
Like, getting into this. Magick died to somebody in the same exact spot again.
Now we know not to kind of be exposed in that position.
And you know what? I guess there was a disconnect this time on the side of the Polar Bears. So again, we want to get all 8 players in. It does look like that first game win is going to count over there for Post. But game number 2 is giving us some trouble. We want to make sure players can connect. I had a disconnector crash earlier today. There was another driver update for my PC version of the game, and there just seems like crashes have been pretty frequent ever since the winter update came through. So hopefully we can get a little bit more game stability, because at the end of the day, we just want to watch some Halo. Yeah.
Hopefully that we get this resolved pretty soon. it's tough. It's like, especially when with all these new updates, all these new changes. It's you never know what's going to come of it.
So what about for you? I was very, I did my confession of worst map for me. Is there a map in the rotation that you're like, this is not it?
Probably Streets, to be honest. I love
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I love Streets, but there's something, I don't know what it is, something about the outer rim of the map. There's a lot of cover, but it doesn't matter. I usually just end up getting pushed into the middle somehow, and I just get exposed completely hard. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I love Recharge. I think Recharge is super fun.
That's so funny to me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Streets is one of those maps that like grew on me. I didn't love it initially, but now it almost contends with Live Fire, which was initially my favorite. And Streets has kind of been climbing up as another favorite. Yeah. So
I was going to say, when it comes to like, there is Aquarius. Now I'm debating. Yeah. But I do genuinely love like all the maps that they've kind of had in Halo and Infinite so far. I don't have any complaints. It's just my personal kind of play. I don't know what it is yet. I'll figure it out over time, though.
Well, once you figure it out, then maybe I'll figure out Recharge. So we both have our areas that we need to work on a little bit. But it does look like we have all 8 players in the game. We're out to the races. No reset just yet, so hopefully we can stick with it. Some early kills going down, and there's Anonimal in that top attic position, but the crossfire is going to take him down before he can get away to survive.
Yeah, Baseball is going to grab... going up in Mydudesa. Going to switch out for the battle rifle and quickly take that with a great weapon switch. Love to see those combinations.
Yeah, nice little swap from the shock rifle to the BR to finish off the kill. And now Anonimal, though, not letting B go down without a fight. We have a potential triple cap here to Stewie, however. Is contesting on A. It looks like A is going over and no triple cap in sight. In fact, now it's 2-1. The zone's in control of Polar Bears.
Yeah, I will say Baseball has been doing a really good job kind of playing those angles and like being like either the distraction or that kind of general cover fire to really do, decent decent area coverage for the Polar Bears.
Yeah, Polar Bears have had great map positioning and rotations, but right now we do see that Post have the zone advantage, and this might shake things up because it'll force a rotation. Here comes Stewie at the back of A, jumping up and going right for the cap, but B is also being contested. A and B now for Polar Bears. It looks like the fight on B side, but Polar Bears are going to stay strong. They're going to win that out, and that's forcing the Eagles to go after that A side zone instead.
Yeah, and Eagles are working a little bit behind right now, 11-20. Not able to kind of get the force going on like a second area right now. Yeah. Polar Bear's just really doing a great job kind of maintaining these corners, really covering any sort of general approaches.
Yeah, and they're capping 2 for 1 right now. All 3 zones just flipped, but I'd really like to see Mydudesa, who capped B, be able to hop back up to high ground. It's not going to happen. He's taken down. So even though they have that B captured, they don't really have that half of the map locked down. Anonimal, though, going in for the brawl, gets the melee kills. Permish is fighting for the camo. I don't know if that camo popped or not. Permish might still have walked away with it. Sometimes that activation animation can be a little bit delayed, so I think that possibly Permish had the camo and it was just burned with that kill from Risen from Fire. Still a close game, back and forth.
So sometimes it's probably not even worth it trying to go for that pop. Sometimes you're better off just kind of getting the damage whenever you can, and hopefully somebody else can kind of get the cleanup for it. Very interesting stuff.
Baseball is contesting. Wirta with the high ground. Baseball could do a jump shot, but Wirta used that little crate there for cover and stalled long enough for Anonimal to come over. And the nice little double team there. That's some good team shooting. And Anonimal now with the shock rifle. And again, crossfire from the map. It's not going to be enough, though, as Risen from Fire rotates around behind it. Looks like a lot of Polar Bears rotating from the back of A that's been paying off for them.
Hey, right now it's kind of a big... oh no, my bad. Sometimes I get the colors mixed up. Like, it's kind of bad on me. But yeah, right now Post. Yeah, right now Post is still going to maintain that lead, and it's going to extend quite a bit. 65 to 37. Really holding on to these zones right now.
A nice little bit of a lead here. It was very like back and forth, very scrappy early game. This is probably the first like chunk of time that we see being won over, but it's not gonna be done easily. And I honestly, honestly, Frisco, I think this push for B is a mistake. I would have loved to see a just solid AC hold, but I tell you what, Post University are playing like there's a fire lit under them right now. They have their eyes on that playoff position, and they are really coming out with no holds barred.
Yeah, you have to. It's like in these situations, you really have to, or else there's not going to be another game next week.
Yeah.
You really need to give it all that you've got, and Post has really given it everything that they have right now.
I'd imagine there's no game next week anyways because of Thanksgiving, but
yeah,
I understand
you know
what you're saying. They don't want the end of the road to be here,
Yeah.
right? Like they want to come back and play again. Hopefully not on Thanksgiving because I'll be eating turkey.
Hey, I want to be entertained on Thanksgiving. I expect that game to fully happen. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, some people watch football, some people watch the parade. We're here watching Halo apparently.
Yeah, you have to have my back on this. Come on, come on.
Okay, I'm down. I would definitely pick it over both football and a parade.
Oh, going for Energy Sword right now. It's so interesting to finally see some of these weapons kind of come into play for these.
Yeah, the Energy Sword has been out a couple of times in the game, but I haven't seen it being like a game changer, at least not yet. It definitely has the capability to do so, but so far the counters to it have been very strong. And speaking of counters, Permish just surviving in that 1v1, that was a pretty pivotal 1v1, in fact, to be able to hold on to that C control. Otherwise, they were at risk of being triple capped.
Yeah, jumping onto the middle crate for the decent crossfire. Gonna really cover Wirta to really keep control of B, and then can push a little bit harder with this double kill on the commando.
Nice.
Very good stuff coming out of Wirta right now.
And good patience here, but the clock is ticking and they have that control of the zones. B and now C is being contested, so they're locking down that B side. I do see that a little bit of contest over here at C. One zone is not going to be enough to do it, and even as that happens, B is being contested. They're not going to take this one easy. 110-point lead, though, is looking pretty solid.
Yeah. Oh, Anonimal's got to be a little careful for Ryzen coming around the corner, and gonna have a decent...
Oh, that's the sword.
Yeah, decent job spacing it out right there, but is gonna get caught in tunnel. Oh, gonna go around Turbine. A little sneaky, not able to kind of clean shot the kill.
I mean, he shot that guy in the back, even when Anonimal was one shot, but sometimes the other team doesn't know. Now, notice that Repulsor in Anonimal's hands against a sword, he can just launch them off the map, and Repulsor wins that fight every time. But does he know that Risen from Fire has a Repulsor? Oh, there's the Repulsor play, Anonimal perfectly countering that sword.
So cool to see. I love it when the Repulsor comes into play for anything. It's just such a... I like these sandbox weapons. They're so cool. They're so cool.
They're capping C-side, and now Anonimal rotating over to B to try to keep it in control, but getting shot, it seems like, from every possible angle as he cuts through the middle of the map. It's not going to be enough. B is still being contested, and here come the reinforcements. So trading kill for kill, it's enough. Wirta gets there for that quick reset. Now C is where the battle's going to shift, but all this time, Eagles keep ticking up on that scoreboard.
I know. It's like once you kind of claim one area on the side of the polar bears, Poster's going to take the other one. Poster's been doing a really good job rotating in and out of, you know, oh, you're going to take this one back? We'll just get the next one. It's totally fine. You know, or just keeping this kind of chokehold on B right now. Yeah, unfortunately, like, Wirta chokes instead of holding on to that chokehold, but you're right, they had me in control for so long. Wirta, in fact, at 17-8, actually having a huge game, so that was the exception, definitely not the rule, and they're gonna bounce right back. Permish from Whirlpool is lasering shots both sides. That's the double kill. Looking for a triple, like, not just a double kill, but a double kill and staying at full health. Yeah. Oh. I think I'm not sure what he thought he had for a second there, but Anonimal is going to be holding on to A right now, rotating into A. Though right now Polar Bear is going to keep C, but it's looking like Mydudesa's thinking about going for the triple cap right now, kind of edging in a little bit, seeing what he's got. Aware that baseball's just around the corner though.
Yeah, they had the numbers though, right? They had 2 down here for the Polar Bears, so nothing wrong with kind of taking a peek. And I love this: take 1 kill, then double back to play a little bit of defense because they just need to hold their ground. At this point, Risen from Fire, I hate to put the pressure on, but if he doesn't make a huge play with that active camo, it's going to be a game over. We do see that B is being contested, flips over, so maybe that camo was the lifesaver to keep Polar Bears in this game.
No, and the second Post loses B, they just rotate right onto C, you know?
Yeah.
Really good timing for them. They know they're about to kind of lose that one positioning, just go right for the other where they're not, you know, where they're just going to spawn right into.
Oh, it was almost a pancake, but it was a clean kill. Either way, Permish dealt out some damage. He had the repulsor. He used it to kind of just put the opponent off their stance, right? Kind of shake up the tempo a little bit. That's what the repulsor can do in that scenario. Still a beautiful takedown, and right now it looks like Eagles are on fire, just 29 seconds away from this game 2 win.
Yeah, right now polar bears really need to do something about this. It's just tough because Post has just been kind of, you know, changing it up whenever they kind of get any sort of foothold on any sort of position. You know, and right now we just see Apollo kind of holding out, trying to hold down to A right now, but it's really looking like Post is just going to rotate into this as well.
You talked about that rotation, right? They lose one zone, they rotate over and take the next one. So in the Halo world, what they call that is they are putting the other team in the blender. So they're literally spawn trapping them, continually rotating across the map. And right now it does look like the polar bears are caught in that blender. Not much place for them to go. They did get that nice capture on A, and now 3 players from the Eagles on the C side. 1 player breaking to Mangler spawn. It's Permish. He's going to get caught out between 3 players, but not before, again, that rotation, and Post picks up the B cap.
Yeah, and it's just a little too late right now for Apollo to be, you know, for this push right now. Is going to, but it looks like the blender is going to go in reverse order, but not quite enough in order to keep Apollo off of point C.
Okay, Wirta almost pulled off just the most groundbreaking play, okay? So the repulsor there, he rushed the zone, repulsed Apollo off of the zone, and then reset the zone. Unfortunately, Apollo wins the kill. Wirta doesn't get the takedown, but I tell you what, if Wirta had won that fight, it was almost the biggest brain play that I've seen.
Wow. Love to see it. Oops.
Just 24 more seconds left for Post, but we do see a good response here on the side of Ohio Northern University Polar Bears. They have another A-B hold, so even though the clock is ticking, again, in strongholds, the clock ticks up, so it's not a factor in that zone. It's just that scoreboard that you keep an eye on. So 230 is the score right now. About 1 more push, and we need to see perfect Halo from the Polar Bears. They're going to come back from this extreme deficit, but I don't think it's going to be enough. 245 and counting.
Yeah, right now, just a strong presence on B and C right now, and it is going to go to Post to round it out right now, 250 to 119. Really love to see it coming out of Post. Right now, Post is up 2-0 on the Polar Bears.
Well, this is it. Coming down to game 3. Will Post University Eagles secure their spot in the playoffs? It has been quite the journey, Frisco. We're looking at the last, 2 weeks. This is 3 weeks in a row that we've got to work together and kind of follow the journey of the Post University Eagles. They came short in the last 2 weeks, and now I'm telling you, the way they're playing, they have a certain sense of urgency. They know this is it, and you can see it in the way they're playing. It's just a little bit crisper, it's a little bit cleaner on the plays and the map rotations, and so far it's been paying off.
Yeah, when just in general, they're just covering all their corners a lot better. They're just kind of keeping an eye on each other, keeping it grouped up. You do see Permish kind of going in and out, doing his own thing once in a while. And once in a while, we see Wirta kind of doing it. But for the most part, we're kind of seeing all these players, cover each other in such effective ways. And you still are seeing that in the assist count a little bit. It's a little bit more even between the two teams right now. But as long as you are maintaining, as you call it, that blender in that situation. Yes. That was the common theme the entire time. I'm glad I have a name to it now. Thank you for enlightening me.
Keep them in a blender. That just means they can never the Polar Bears never seem to be able to get their footing under them, right? The momentum was completely one-sided. They're caught in that blender. You don't want to be in the blender. I mean, I love a good smoothie, but better to put the other team in the blender in.
Huh, I just had a milkshake, so it was kind of appropriate.
Oh, perfect.
Gotta have that Sonic once in a while.
I don't know if we are actually going back to Recharge for Oddball. I guess it's possible. I don't know if there's anything against repeat maps. We've seen a few repeat maps in the past, but if this is the mapping mode that we're sticking with, this is where Post University clutched up in a huge win against the Canton Spartans last week, and that was the only win they had in that series, which was absolutely huge. So honestly, Post University coming off a win on this map, now swapping it over to Audible, it makes perfect sense. They're ready to take this fight.
Yeah, I don't think the Polar Bears know what they're quite in for right now. This just seems like a really solid game mode and map for Post. Let's see if they can kind of bring it to fruition on that. Gonna chase down baseball right down into maintenance bay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
A little trap there, Anonimal flanks, and Wirta goes in for the melee. Got an early oddball hold here. And I do have to say, Wirta in that game 2 came out with that 14.7 KDA. Wants to bring it back right here. In game 1, Anonimal and Permish were the kill leaders on the side of Post, and then game 2 is all Wirta. Love this toss of the oddball. If you're gonna go 4 down, at least stall a few seconds by throwing that ball out into the middle of the map.
That was actually a really quick team wipe on Post. It was kind of only like a quick second, but it was there. All players off the field. It's just really hard to kind of, especially in a kind of a game type like this, you need to have constant control of that objective.
I think Anonimal just got a triple kill. Oh my goodness. It was at least a double. Maybe the triple, and you're right about that first team wipe being so quick, and now the answer back was another quick team wipe.
Yeah, Nominal's really feeling the pressure, noticing that Permish was out of the way down the hall, needed to kind of rotate out to kind of, kind of expose himself before, getting out of that situation. When you see the pressure coming, you got to get out. But he was a little too exposed in the opening, and he was going to lose that life for it.
Well, he went to play the ball, but I think it was a little bit early. Wirta still had the sword there at top glass. I think they could have milked a few more seconds. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them, and them just playing a little bit safe right now. It seems like that's the strategy. So maybe that's the play. Maybe that pays off right there. I'll tell you one thing that'll pay off. Permish wins a nice 1v1 against Ryzen, and that's huge. We've seen some good plays from Ryzen from Fire, and Permish is going to shut that right down.
Yeah,
and
Permish...
there, oh, the perfect shot rifle. Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah, I really liked the choice. He could have gone for the objective to play it, but Permish was really content on just kind of waiting up for the shock rifle to respawn and kind of waiting for it. Just kind of cutting off any sort of approach from Turbine and just, grabbing the weapon whenever he could and kind of sneaking out whatever he can with it.
All right, I'm a fan of Permish, okay, listen, but don't chase in that play. You have the shock rifle, you have high ground, you have objective. Play some defense and don't get pulled into low ground where you just get collapsed on by 3 of the enemy team. I'm sorry, I think that was a rare mistake there on the side of Permish, but I know that they have the ability to recover. He's back in the fight again, but Baseball is going to line up those shots and take down the kill.
Going cross shot on Wirta. A little bit of a skirmish happening in the Turbine right now. From the grave on Apollo, but looks like Baseball is going to take that objective and kind of retreat back. Though he's all alone right now. Maybe not the most effective move, but he's kind of getting away with it quick. Though, yeah, he is gonna get cornered,
perfect.
And he's gonna lose it for it.
See, we know Permish can make those flank plays, and that was a perfect example of it, just cutting off the ball carrier. And Wirta now milking his life as the shots are coming left, right, and center. Ryzen, however, does get a double kill, including a fastball award. So Apollo is going to sneak away the oddball for now, but Permish with the double shock rifle play. That was beautiful.
I saw that coming. I'm like, he doesn't have shock rifle again. And he turns the corner. Of course, it gets popped.
You see the blue light, it's already over, you know?
You love to see it. You love to see it.
All right, Permish, stay alive. Don't rush after the whole other team and give them the shock rifle. Like, you've earned that weapon. We want to see you putting it to work just like that some more. A little bit of kill trading back and forth, but Wirta is holding on to the objective. They crossed 75 seconds before playing it out, and I think that was a great use of the time, knowing that the push was coming, but waiting until the last second to toss the ball out to the middle.
Ooh, somebody was sneaking up, waiting for him to kind of jump down there and get the back hit in. I missed the kill cam. I missed the kill feed. I'm not quite sure who kind of just waited there.
I didn't see who it was. That's my bad. But either way, it does look like a little bit of an answer here from the Polar Bears, although Baseball is going to be trapped between a rock and a hard place. That's 3 down now on the side of Polar Bears. Stewie, last alive, holding on to the sneaky position. He's up against the sword, but Wirta actually had the sword holstered for a minute. Permish comes through and cleans up the rest of that kill.
Yeah, that punch into, and it got buffed. The Disruptor got buffed this patch just a little bit, but just on the ammo count.
Yeah.
Kind of a little bit of a wildfire there. Not able to clean up the kill from that punch, and he's going to kind of get punished for it.
Anonimal and Wirta with some great team plays there to get the takedown. And Anonimal dropping down to the low ground here, in fact, is good because he's drawing enemies away from where the oddball carrier is, and they are only 5 seconds away from a win. That's just one hold. Apollo, though, on this flank, has shots onto Wirta at B box. How is Wirta alive? No, he is taken down in the end. Woo!
Almost a team wipe again coming on to the Polar Bears. Post has such strong control right now, and that's going to be round 1 going to Post.
Great plays across the board. They're definitely winning out in the slaying department, which just opens up the map for that objective control. But saw a lot of really good things, and especially shout out to Permish with the shock rifle plays.
Yeah, really great job covering camo and gonna kind of sneak it in himself, but is gonna pop it just to deny, the Polar Bears from actually utilizing it themselves. Really good play. A little early on the repulsor hit.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes the Spartans have T-Rex arms. They don't reach as far as you'd like, and in that case, the repulsor didn't quite have the impact that they were hoping for. A little bit of a hold here coming out from the Polar Bears. Anonimal trying to duck for cover, does not stay alive, and now Wirta pushing by himself is going to be in trouble. Hopefully coming out with at least a kill. Really smart to back off in that situation. Has one more grenade to use. Could toss it either direction, but no, the full collapse coming through. It's not over yet. This is quite the all-out brawl taking place in the back of Attic. Here comes Mydudesa with a cleanup.
Yeah, just, that effective kind of flanking, you kind of back off a little bit. At first I was questioning whether Anonimal should have backed off and kind of kind of push the ball, but in the end it was really good play. Just please, your presence, just being present is pressure enough sometimes. You don't need to be necessarily shooting anybody as long as your body is there. It just a little bit of like mental pressure for your opponent.
Yeah, sometimes just living in baseball, finding a way to do that with the shock rifle takedown. On the other side of the map, though, Permish does get a double kill, so definitely shrinking down those numbers on the side of Polar Bears. But baseball cleans up one kill, drops down. Mydudesa with another double. This would be almost impossible for Polar Bears to hang on to. They're down so many numbers. This is a chance for Post to get some good time on the clock.
Yeah, Wirta's going to be holding on to that right up in around an A section. Medusa's really going to try and get out of there super quick with grapple. Everyone's kind of a little bit spread out right now. Not a whole lot is happening, though. We do see Apollo is going to be pushing up, though Repulsor is going to send him right back down that hallway. Not quite enough to sneak it out with double pressure coming from Wirta and Mydudesa.
Well, you mentioned not much was happening because what was happening was away from the objective. Active camo was spawning, and that took away just about half of the players' attention fighting over that camo spawn. And sometimes when those power-ups are spawning in, you do lose sight of objective for a little while trying to get that control.
Yeah, it's just tough because if you're not kind of playing the objective at all, then you're just kind of going to lose that lead that you have. It's just super tough, and you need to be cognizant because if your entire team is paying attention to that one objective, to the power weapons and whatnot, then you're kind of losing the point a little bit.
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Sometimes you can get a little tunnel vision on those power-ups and it could come back to bite you. In that case, it looked like Stewie was the one who had the active camo, and gotta shout out the Stewie on the side of the Polar Bears. 18 and 15, but also with the double-digit 10 assists. Really working every side of this map and fighting to keep Polar Bears, not just in this game, but in this series. This is game 3.
Yeah, you really need to turn this around now, and it's right now it is in Polar Bear's favor right now. Looking pretty strong for them. Can they kind of sneak this out as an effective counter to what Post has been bringing them so far?
Baseball was trying to kind of sneak up, just inching his way toward the objective. In the end, he was taken down, but cleared a path, maybe plowed a rut in the ground for Stewie to come through. Now, Stewie knows there's a player behind him. Permish jumped up to bat ledge, however, and now Stewie is trying to rotate, but this chase is coming in. Permish is on the commando, closes out with that commando melee cleanup. When you're holding that oddball, everybody knows where you are.
Yeah, I actually really like his rotation back off. It's, you know, he could go in to kind of grab the objective, but that's right now it doesn't seem like that's been Permish's like hyperfixation right now. It's not really his role. Leave it to somebody else. Permish will be there to kind of cover the back area that needs to be covered in order to, you know, let your teammate kind of through.
I tell you what, if you have a teammate who has 26 and 15, you let them slay and somebody else volunteer to hop on that objective. Like, I volunteer as tribute. I will be the objective holder. You keep doing your thing and get those kills. And I think that you summarized that really well. That is the role of Permish on this team.
Yeah, exactly. Double kill coming out from Mydudesa. Really smart kind of just pressure. Like, even though not really in the line of sight, just the presence of be there as a reaction to whoever might come and grab it. Really good stuff. Keeping up the pressure really nicely.
Gotta love to see Wirta there grabbing that objective. Already has 80 seconds of total objective time, really prioritizing that. And now the team shots coming through. They pressured the player, and Anonimal was there across on top glass or top attic to clean up the kills. And now look who's in a blender once again. Unfortunate for the Polar Bears, they are left scrambling.
Mydudesa really wanted that a kill on Apollo. He was not ready to let it go. Several misses and a little bit of a weapon switch needed, but was able to kind of sneak it out. Not willing to compromise that.
Good play there from Wirta. He gets the melee trade, sets up that assist, and Mydudesa cleans up the kill, and now trying to rotate here back to attic side. They have about a 6-second lead right now, and it could just come down to this gunfight. Unfortunately, 3 go down for the Eagles. That's going to be some solid time now, and they don't have maybe 2 pushes to break this defensive hold.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like anybody wants to make the push right now. Wirta's kind of backfooting it a little bit, waiting for somebody else to come up. But Anonimal's on the other side right now, and he could make a push to kind of go with him. Not willing to do it, though. And right now, that's almost a team wipe. Wirta's the only one is able to sometimes all you need is one. Sometimes all you need is one to kind of get that objective going.
Well, it was a 1v1. 3 were down on both teams, and then Wirta, last Spartan standing in that fight, sweeps in, gets the kill, gets the objective, and now instead of playing the ball off the map, tries to make a repulsor play, but Risen from Fire comes in, gets the kill. That ball is being snuck away now by Apollo. That non-reset might just come back to cost the Eagles.
Wow, that's crazy. Nominal not able to get the push, but Permish is going to be there to repulse them right off the ledge. Really good stuff. Camo really coming in clutch for that, actually. Double kill.
And they needed it. Only 8 seconds between the Polar Bears taking round 2, forcing a round 3. But instead, that Permish on the camo, double kill with the reset, gives them another fighting chance here. A little bit of trades on kills going back and forth. No objective time right now, but Wirta again on that objective as quick as possible. 115 seconds of objective time, and now they're just 10 points away from securing their spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, Permish was there to really cover those corners, but it's not quite enough at this point. It's really looking like Post might lose it right now. Yeah, Permish is down. Wirta's the only one up, and looks like that timer is gonna get hit 100. And the next point does indeed go to the Polar Bears.
Oh, Permish had both players down to 1 shot and racks up 33 kills, but we're gonna go into round 3. I said the word playoff a little bit too early, okay? They can blame me if they want. Maybe I jinxed it. It was 92 all across the scoreboard, and it looked like they had it locked in, but it's gonna be a fight to the end. And right there, Apollo gets the sneak king. That's the back smack on the camo player. Permish snuck away the camo, but wasn't able to do anything with it.
Yeah, quick double kill, quick trade coming on both of the players right there. Stewie is going to cover up that kind of open area right now. And we're going to see another one, a double smack.
Yep. Sometimes the most reliable weapon you have is your fist.
Sometimes the most... just hanging in there right there.
Yeah, the little Spartan pinata.
Yeah. I got really confused for like, I didn't know the grappling hook could work like that.
It's like that the meme, the positive cat that's like holding onto the ledge.
Yeah.
Just hang in there. You know what I'm talking about? That's exactly what that picture was.
Exactly. Do you remember Icon has cheeseburger?
No.
Never mind. It was like a really old meme, a super old meme of a cat with a tilted head saying, "Can I please has cheeseburger?" And that was it. There was nothing more to
cool
it.
Enough when I was younger. I didn't know meme culture. Right now, 22-4 is the lead, but it looks like a little bit of a sneak away here by the Eagles. Permish, you know, we talked about him being the lead slayer, not playing much objective, but in this case, he's gonna get the job done. He jumps up, but he gets stuck. That sticky grenade nearly took out Baseball, but Baseball surviving with 1 HP and a dream. Now Wirta is left fighting, and he's kind of scrambling here against all of the polar bears.
Yeah, I was wondering what Permish was going to do. I know Permish doesn't normally play the objective, and he's really kind of like the, you know, kind of slaying guy. But he chose to kind of forego the objective a little bit and be a little, you know, offensive, and it kind of didn't work out for him. Now they had control for a good while, and now the post is gonna keep control of the respawn on ball, and they are gonna take it again though.
Yeah, I think the credit has to go to that perfectly placed plasma grenade in order to win out that fight, but the reset comes through. Objective is open, and so is the active camo. I think that was snuck away by Apollo. And Anonimal was ready, though, with the team fire with Wirta. I think that was camo out of play right now. 4 up for post. Only 2 players left standing on the side of ONU.
Anonimal really trying to put up a little pressure from a distance, but kind of going to get pushed back by the shock rifle, and is going to get cleaned up. Looking like the Stewie also has sword, though he kind of gets dropped.
Wirta double, nice.
Yeah, and Mydudesa is going to be playing box again, hoping to kind of, you know, play back and forth a little bit, stay out of sight, stay out of cover, and Permish is going to kind of push up with shock rifle.
Is Ryzen playing on mouse and keyboard? I have this question. He just did this quick glance behind and back forward. Either he's playing on 25 sensitivity or he's on mouse and keyboard. But I have questions. I want to know now from Ryzen from Fire. Keyboard and mouse players on Halo are about as rare as unicorns, so I'd be really interested. I think that little like a turnaround 180 that he did would be pretty much impossible on controller. So I'm gonna lean towards mouse and keyboard, but definitely something I want to keep my eye on. An interesting outcome. But looking at the clock, only 10 more seconds for Post University to secure this win.
Ooh, not able to get the skirmish in, and Baseball is going to take that kill. But the objective does get sent into the pit, and we are going to get a reset. It looks like Post might be lined up to take this. Mydudesa just has to drop down for a quick second. But Apollo is going to be pushing up, actually. He's going to really contest that.
Yeah, the Whirlpool setup working out right there, but Mydudesa wasting no time to cut them off, and then Permish secures a huge kill. Mydudesa sneaking away. 4, 3, 2, 1. That is it. That's a 3-0 series, and Post University coming out with that fire lit under them to secure their spot in the playoffs.
Wow, you love it. I love it.
Woo.
It's, you know, really happy to see them kind of, you know, from that kind of losing spree over the past few weeks. It's really great to see Post come out on top this week and really, you know, clinch it out to get that playoff spot.
Just the comeback they needed, just in the nick of time. And I have to say, the way Post University was playing here today, if they can carry that with them to playoffs, they're looking at a good playoff run. I definitely felt a different kind of intensity, focus, energy, whatever you want to call it, that showed in the way that Post was playing. They seemed more unified, they seemed more consistent, and a little bit more patient almost. Off of team wipes, they were able to regroup and push in a more unified way. And in the end, all of that came together, paid off in a nice 3-0 series.
Yeah, it definitely feels like each player on Post had their role. It didn't seem like they had to kind of adjust much at all in this oddball sense. You had Wirta and Mydudesa as your objective players, with Anonimal and Permish being your kind of cover, and you can really see that in the timers right here. It didn't seem like they had to adjust too much to that off of that plan. Oh, and it's going to get close. I can't look at the other stats, but they really do show that the blender is alive when it comes to Post.
Absolutely, absolutely. They can celebrate with some nice smoothies, milkshakes, or, you know, what I had for a snack earlier today, a nice acai bowl. So there's a lot of things that you can do with a strong working blender. And in tonight's games, especially when it came to recharge, really loved to see Post University with great map control, the slaying capability, and efficient objective plays.
I know. I know that Recharge might not be your favorite map to play on, but I really do hope you enjoyed watching, Recharge for so much tonight.
I don't dislike the map. I just dislike playing on it. So no, I had a lot of fun with the maps, and of course, credit to Ohio Northern University, the Polar Bears, for coming out to compete today. They did already secure their spot in the playoffs as well. Both of these teams tonight actually ending the regular season with that 4-4 even record. But I think there was something a little bit to prove here. Which team has what it takes heading into playoffs? And right now, the post-university Eagles seem to have that advantage.
Yeah, maybe we'll see the run back in playoffs. I'd be super excited to see that. I want to see Post come back against all of these players stronger than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the test is going to be what we saw from last week and the week before. Both of those games, when it was against the SUNY Canton Spartans, and then the week before that was against Boise State. Both of those teams had two really all-star players. So I think that's going to be the test heading into playoffs. Does Post University, as a solid team of 4, where you mentioned they each have a role to play and played it well, but is it enough to shut down a couple of all-stars on some of these other teams that we know they're going to face in the playoffs?
I know. Then we'll have to see Post really learn how to, adapt and adjust to their opponents. And that's when things might get shaky, but Post has a little bit of time to go into it. We'll see where they go from there, and hopefully stronger than ever.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you to everybody that joined us tonight. This has been Post Halo versus Ohio Northern, with Post coming out on top tonight, and really glad to see it. I've been Frisco, and joining me tonight was Magick. Magick, do you have any last words to say before we head out?
Thanks for having me. This has been great, kind of building up some consistency even on the broadcast side the last few weeks. It's always great working with you, Frisco, and obviously a huge congratulations to Post University for clinching that spot in the playoffs. Very excited. I just got a big smile on my face. That was a fun victory to watch.
Always a pleasure, Magick. And again, just like Magick said, congratulations to Post. We will see you all in the playoffs. And yeah, we will see. I'm not sure if, let me check quickly if I should check this before everything. I'm such a bad check on this. I should check to see if the other channel is doing anything right now.
Oh.
And then raid them. I don't think they are. Oh no, yep, they're doing Madden, so I'm gonna raid them.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm gonna raid them right now. Otherwise, we will see you guys next time. Raid Post UE Sports 2. Okay. Adios, everybody. See you next time.